as the Cali Pass man. Oh, you're inside today. Usually you're on the road, man.
Well, no, I was out at on the mountain yesterday over at China Peak, and actually this pretty good skiing, I have to say. The good news is temperatures are really not that high. Certainly, it's not in the teens and the 20s right now. But again, we always talk about on the show here what the advantages of early season. Like right now in December, that sun is still really low in the sky. So even if it got even warmer, it's still going to be pretty good because the sun is just not pounding the slopes. Most ski resorts were built mainly two directions, either facing north or facing east. And so for the most part, the slope itself doesn't really see a lot of sun. It's sort of like shaded as the sun moves across the sky, much lower than we'll see as the months move on. So it's still amazingly good. In fact, the reports around the lake, Bear Valley, China Peak, over at Mammoth. Mammoth has almost the entire mountain open. So there's a lot of great skiing and riding out there. Sean, you mentioned snowmaking. That's been, of course, part of my life since I started back in the 1970s, literally 50 years ago. And then one of the biggest systems ever built was back at Snow Summit in 1965. I know you're going to take it all the way back to even earlier than that. But the California snowmaking really started in the 1960s, and that was in Southern California. And that was basically a survival mission. Resorts down in Southern California, Big Bear Lake, Mountain High over in Wrightwood, they simply were never going to make it in the long run without snowmaking. So Dick Kuhn, who was one of my closest friends for almost 40 years, whose family built Snow Summit, was one of the pioneers in the 1960s. Up in the Lake Tahoe area, really, I know there were resorts that had snowmaking. You mentioned Diamond Peak was the first, but the first ski resort to really, really embrace snowmaking on a big scale was, of course, Bill Killaroo at Heavenly. And that was back in the early 1980s. And by the late 1980s, Heavenly was offering a full 3,500 vertical with snowmaking. So it's really made a big difference. In fact, the main reason the skiing is really good right now in the groomers, virtually around the lake, Bear Valley, China Peak, Dodge Ridge doesn't have snowmaking, but all the other resorts is basically because of snowmaking. And of course, modern grooming. Right. And snowmaking has become infinitely more efficient and cost effective. These guns now put out so much more snow than they used to. It's amazing.
That is incredible, Matt. It is great history. It's great to hear the history that we have here locally. I've heard Heavenly is just nothing's bigger than that one. Congratulations on opening weekend, both Bear Valley and China Peak, man. Great to hear.